Hi friends, today we are going to discuss about gender and sex. This is a commonly misunderstood concept. For example, if someone is asking you what is your sex, you will say that you are male or female. At the same time, if someone is asking you what is your gender, you will normally say the same answer. It is not wrong, but the meaning of it is different. Let us understand that. Sex is a biological concept. That means in women you will see female reproductive system, and in men you will see the male reproductive system. That means it's a physical difference. It is a chromosomal difference. We cannot do anything on that. But in gender, it is not. It is a social construct. So let us look into gender. Gender is related to an identity. How you want to express your identity in a society. Although you may be a male, you wanted to identify yourself as a female. There, things are complicating. To explain it further, let me use the blackboard. Sorry, here it is whiteboard. So, for example, if you are a male, you are connecting that concept with man. That you are assuming that this person is a man. Man is related to masculinity. Masculine, related to muscles, physical. Female is related to feminine and nurturing. These are the words will come in when we hear female. Nurturing, nursing. Here, physical things. That is the difference. So, there is a problem. Here the male and female is sex. But there is a possibility that a male wanted to express his identity as a female. For example, he wanted to identify or to take the social roles of a woman. So, you will have a physical feature of a male, but your mental features are connected to femininity. So, there will be a confusion. That is why we see a person who is a male who is wearing sari, who is wearing the dress of girls or ladies, or the dress that has been attributed to women. It is actually a social problem. In a society, you want to express it like that. It is not related to sex. But how it comes? This masculinity and femininity are connected to men and women. How it has been done? It comes as a part of the social norm. The problem is, society has defined that masculinity is for man and feminine nature is for woman. Here, when a male takes the role of the female and wears a sari, we call them transgender. Don't confuse transgender with transsexual. Both are different. For example, a she-male, we normally hear that word. It is a derogatory term, but let me use it for the time being. A she-male is not necessarily a transgender. He or she is a transsexual. I will come to it in detail. So what is happening here is, the society has attributed certain role for men and women, or for males and females. Man will go for hunting and gathering. There you will gain masculinity. At the same time, a woman will stay at the home and pamper their child. So that gives femininity, nurturing. This is an attribution, or the social role is being attributed to men and women by the society itself. That is gender. So, maybe a girl wanted to behave like a man. He wanted to take the social roles of man. Possible. In that case, we cannot call them as a transgender. Always it is not transgender. We can, for example, you may see 100 years before, there was never a possibility of women joining the army. But now we can see that. Because the society is attributing that role as a soldier to man. But it is not these days, because women are joining there. So they are proving that they can gain masculinity. So in a modern world, modern globalized world, you may see a male taking a role or the role of a female. For example, cooking. Cooking has always been attributed to women. But these days you can see man doing it or male doing it. So there is an overlap. You can see an overlap here. We cannot call them as transgender, because a male here is expressing himself as male, but taking the role of woman. But in a transgender, the problem is they will even dress like that, dress like a woman. So they wanted to completely change into a woman, or the social roles of women. That is transgender. So what we see normally about transgenders is that people won't accept transgenders. Why is it that so? People throw stones on transgender people. It is a very common thing. We are also trying to protect, means the government is also trying to protect the transgenders. The problem with this is, we have already defined the role of men and women. So when a man or a male doing the role of female by wearing the dress of woman, people won't accept it. People will call them as mad. People will say that they have some psychological problems. So people won't allow to breach or to deviate from that social norms. They wanted to stick on to the social norms. These deviants, people won't accept. That is why they have been targeted. Ideally, we all take the role of, as a man, I take many roles of woman. But I am not completely changing into a woman. So a transgender wanted to completely change into a woman. That's a problem. The society won't accept that. So to conclude it, let me bring that transsexuality or transsexual with transgender. If that comparison is not been done, I don't think that it will go complete. So about transsexual, maybe a male believes that his soul is in a wrong body. His soul is female. So he wanted to change into a female. So what in transsexual, what they do is, they will try to change the hormonal things. They will go for surgery and try to change the physical features too. So the physical organs will also change. We can see many number of examples where they operate many number of times and change into a woman. That means a man will change into a woman, or a male will change. That it is a better word to say, male will change into a female with changing the sex. It is not a gender change. You will change the gender. You don't want to stay as a man, or you don't want to stay as a male. You wanted to become a female. So you will take surgery and go on. When I say she-male, that's actually a biological problem. Maybe she is having a female body, at the same time may have some male reproductive organs too. That is actually a biological problem. That's why I said it is better to connect them with transsexual. So if I take something, for example, if I widen my argument, people have a tendency to classify masculinity, femininity in hierarchical order. For example, this is a European classification. People say masculinity is above feminine nature. When masculinity is above feminine, or masculinity is above feminine qualities, you see patriarchy. Patriarchy is in fact the reflection of this. Masculine people will gain more, or gain the bread and butter, or the surplus for the female too. There patriarchy begins. That is why we speak about gender inequality. It is not sex equality. We speak about gender equality. Gender equality means you wanted that gender to be considered equally. So the role, women should come up and take the roles of men too. We can do this. We can do that. It is not that we are restricted in certain aspects. The society, the social norm should be redefined, and we should be allowed to take the roles which needs masculinity too. That we can do it. The things are changing. That's why I told the example of army. Women joining army. It is actually changing the gender inequality equation. We are reducing the gender inequality. That means women are also taking the role of men. It is not just men can do it, women can also do it. That is the real concept. So I think this is the primary stuff about gender and sex. You can get 100 number of articles and books related to this. There can be different explanations too. For example, there are arguments saying that gender is actually same as that of sex. There are arguments. So for the time being, for UPSC and for our purpose, I think you can use this explanation rather than going behind those other explanations. So this is it for today from Sociology Tip. I hope I have made the things very clear. If there are any confusions, you can write it to Neo or mail them. I'll come back to it. Or even in the comment box you can give it. Surely you will get a proper reply, because this is a conceptual thing, maybe a bit more difficult. So understand it. If you have any doubts, we are with you. Thank you.